To have passion in life is everything.
What's your Everest?
Oh,
Is it
yeah.
that 200-inch box?
They just look so impressive when they're wide.
Especially running away.
Welcome to this week's episode of Eastman's Elevated.
It's like a think tank for outdoor activity.
Sounds exactly like my hunting. Just always thinking about it, always trying to evolve it and make it better.
Here's your host, Brian Barney.
Hey guys, we'll get right into this solo podcast. I just wanted to let you know we're going to be at the expo, and Wednesday we're going to do a kickoff party. It's at 6 o'clock. We're going to do a live question and answer, do some videos. Should be a good time. So if you're around the expo Wednesday night, 6 o'clock, I believe it'll be at the Salt Lake Palace in there somewhere. Come see us. All right, here we go. Hey, what's happening, guys? Got a brand new Eastman's Elevated for you. So going to sit down here, record a podcast, record a solo. So it's been a while. Check in with you guys, let you guys know what I'm up to. Just want to thank a couple of my sponsors before I get started. I want to thank Stone Glacier. I really like these guys at Stone Glacier. These guys are producing just great gear. So I'm using their sleep systems, their sleeping bags. They're just unparalleled. Like, they go right down to the temp rating. So instead of a 15-degree bag being really a 30-degree bag being comfortable, their 15-degree bag I keep comfortable all the way down to 15 degrees and below that. I can pile on some clothes and some extra layers, and I can make it in even colder conditions, about 10 degrees or 15 degrees below their rating. So they just have awesome bags. 15 degree, which I'm using most of the time. They also have a 0 degree, and then they also have a quilt. So the quilt is set up to be able to sleep. It's super lightweight. Now, the quilt has a temp rating of 30 degrees, so I got to be careful with this one that you don't take it out while it's too cold. So this, for me, is going to be an early season high country mule deer bag for scouting and hunting in June, July, and August. Once it gets to be September, I think it's going to get too chilly in that, and then I'll opt to bring my 15 degree. Also, their tents are absolutely next level. Like, they have the Sky Air Ultra, which was designed for me. It's a bivy tent. It's a modular system. Comes in just super lightweight, and then you can add to it. So my go-to setup is to have the tent. They have an inner bug-out layer that has a floor in it, and then it's got the mosquito netting that goes all the way to the top of the tent, so you don't get any mosquitoes in there or creepy crawlies or anything like that. It seems like every time I sleep in the dirt, well, a lot of times I will, I'll lay down and then I'll see a huge spider in the dirt, when I'm sleeping right in the dirt. So it's so nice to be protected in there where you don't have the creepy crawlies. Or I've had mice before that are really bad. But it just makes sure that I have a bomb-proof shelter. I've also have the vestibule where I can store my gear. This is a mountaineering company. They just build great gear. So I'm so impressed by it. They now have a new one-man tent. I've used the two-person model, which is just bomb-proof, that I use all the time. It's a 4-season tent, so their one person is a 4-season tent, so you can pretty much survive anything in that. Comes in at just over 3 pounds, which is a great option. It's just a little bit more bomb-proof than say their bivy tent. Also adds a little bit more weight, but a lot of these tents are personal preference as well. But if you're in the market for any new gear, make sure to go check out Stone Glacier. They're doing amazing things. I also want to thank Forever Barnwood. These guys are awesome. So I just went through this experience with my house. I mean, this is a veteran-owned company. They're all hunters, and they came up with this process of making new pine look old. So they can match lots so you don't get, barn board is tough to work with. Like, true barn board that's 50 years old, 100 years old is always twisted with holes in it, cracked. The Forever Barn Board product is amazing. Like, it is new wood that's straight and true. They just have their process dialed all along the way. Like, the quality is so high with this stuff. So I used it in my house. I used the doors, I used the base trim, the case trim, used their box beams, which I'm using in a couple other projects. Where just creates this amazing beam look in main livings or great rooms, things of that nature. They have a bunch of other products, like you can build cabinets. They have flooring that's amazing and a really good price point. It just makes for a one-of-a-kind Western home. I use their doors in my place. The price point was actually more inexpensive than Alder. Just a great quality door that's true, that hung right. Just great guys in there. They have shipping all throughout the United States, so they'll get you the stuff that you ordered, and really the lead time wasn't bad at all. It was like 3-4 weeks on this stuff. So I'll use this company a bunch more. I'm just a huge fan of their products. Absolutely one of a kind Western look. So if you're building a house, thinking about building a house, check them out. Check out their website. Great guys, great product at Forever Barnwood. I also want to thank Black Ovis. Black Ovis is an internet retail shop that has absolutely everything you need for your hunts. These guys are hunters as well, so super knowledgeable staff. You're welcome to call these guys and get advice on gear. They can lead you in the right direction for the hunt that you're going on. They carry all the top name brands. They have a bunch of the brands that we have here on the show as sponsors, you know, the Kryptek, Zamberlan, all the top brands. So you can really compare and contrast what you want to get for your next hunt. They also have their own name brand, which is super high quality. I've been really impressed, like looking at their sleeping bags. I always mention my buddy Dylan, his puffy pants. But yeah, they just have great gear in there, a great name brand. Guys work really hard to get things out the door to us hunters that are going to operate correctly. You can also save 10% in there by putting in the promo code Eastmans10, and a bunch of cool features on there. You can check out they have an arrow ID. They have a point system where 1 point equals $1. So you get that on purchases that you can use for future purchases. Just a great company, and we really appreciate their support. So if you're in the market for anything, upgrading any of your gear this year, make sure to go check them out over at Black Ovis. Also want to thank Camo Fire. Camo Fire is one of the most addictive apps out there. It just has great hunting deals. So they have 80 new hunting deals every 24 hours. And if you download the app and you watch it, you'll find some great deals that come up. I know my buddies use this quite a bit and able to pick up some top-notch gear at a huge discount. So you can check that out at Camo Fire. With that, at Eastman's, looking forward to going to this expo. I have my dates right now. Originally, I thought it was in January. I think I looked up the ATA dates or something like that. So anyways, I know the dates of the expo now, so I will be leaving next week. I'm going to go do a workout with Mountain Tough. Do that on Monday and then shoot down there Tuesday, and I'll be down the entire week. I know we've got some good podcasts lined up, but come say hi, and BS, I'll be around the Eastman's booth and around the expo there. Definitely putting in for my expo tags. Gosh, I've got to write that down on my list today. So I'll apply for those, and then you know, no big deal. Just draw a sheep tag or a really good mule deer tag and be on my way. But yeah, stop in and say hi. I'd love to chat. I always like to meet you guys, the community, you know, the faces behind the podcast that are listening in. So really appreciate the support. Come check us out at the expo. Check out everything we're doing with our mule deer school. You can check us out at Tag Hub. Right now it's tag application season. I know I'm watching that closely for deadlines and things, and beginning to put in across the country. And we'll get into that in the podcast today a bit. And also check out Beyond the Grid and yeah, everything we're doing. The magazines. I've got an article sitting here that I have to write about off season. So I got to get going on that thing. Should put that on my list as well. And yeah, we'll keep cruising here. So let's get into this podcast. I'm in my new house. It does feel amazing. Just trying to recover from steady work. Like, these things are so much work. They're just hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of man hours. And I did do this one a bit different, where I had help from my crew, which was really nice. But still, you know, it comes down to me and getting this thing done. And in the end, I made this giant push. Like, I could start to see the light at the end of the tunnel. You know, I was going to do this one different, or I had plans to do this one different, where you know, I wasn't going to drop everything. I was going to have a good hunting season. I was going to keep working on the house, take weekends off, not lose my mind, not work evenings, like just work a regular work schedule and it gets done when it gets done. But all of a sudden, I can start to see the light at the end of the tunnel. I can start to see this thing getting completed and getting finished. And I'm in, a rental paying a super high rent. And, my family's moved in there. It's just chaos. I'm living out of boxes and never really unpacked because it's not my home, And so, it's just, I get to this point and it's just, I have to put everything into this house. It's just the only way I know how to do it. It's just complete focus. Let's get this thing done. Let's really concentrate on it. And, along with working on my house, I also have to work Barney Construction and make sure our jobs are progressing there. But really went all in, 12-hour days, 14-hour days, whatever it takes, however much I can work. Like I just had to be efficient. And so I started boiling down, and really it was beautiful. It was like the only thing that mattered was getting this house done, was my carpentry day in, day out, being efficient, just showing up and getting things done. And then as far as my time, just boiled it down, whereas it's like, man, I had a half an hour in the morning where I sat and had my coffee, and may sit down a half an hour at night and have some dinner and hang out with the fam a little bit before I pass out or fall asleep on the couch at about 8:30, 9 o'clock, and start it all over again at 5 in the morning. So it was a beautiful push in the end. And and it's like a dream to be able to build my dream house in this market and economy. Is a dream to take each facet of this house, like, whether that's tile work or hardwood floors or whether that's countertops, and just to do the best job I can do. And it boils down to not only, choosing the right materials, but also the craftsmanship that goes into it. And, over 25 years, I became a really good carpenter and a really good finish carpenter. So it was like really putting my all into it, and then just not accepting anything but perfection, or it doesn't have to, it's not a perfect world. Even in a new house, it's not a perfect world. There's things that you have to navigate and negotiate, and construction's like life. It's just problem solving. There's 2, 3, 4 problems a day that come up, but just always doing the right thing, like seeing something and going, nah, I can't leave that'll bug me, or whatever the case is. I had to pull a couple tiles out, which pretty much ripped the Durarock out, just tiles that, had a imperfection on the side or busted corner, whatever the case is, but just not leaving that, trying to do the absolute best job I can. So, man, it's beautiful. Like, I definitely slacked on my communication and things. It just boiled down to what was really important, and had great family support. And, so, man, I just put my head down and just went to work. And my life got a little out of balance, which is, it doesn't make for a healthy mindset when I get that far out of balance, when I'm just working all the time. All of a sudden, I'm not shooting my bow. All of a sudden, I'm not running. All of a sudden, it's like none of that stuff matters. It's just getting this place done. And which is fine. I think... at times we need to push ourselves for a better life, and better for us and better for our family. And it takes major moves, and it takes this dedication and commitment. And, I think we're all there. Like, you just want to build a happy life for yourself, but you also have to put yourself out there, and you have to work hard at it. And jobs, for me, this house represents kind of my construction life, or like my lifelong commitment to building and Barney Construction and things. And so getting it done is a huge move for me, both for my family and enjoyment and having this great house to live out, but also financially. So it was such a good move. I'm glad I put myself out there. I'm glad I'm in here, but I do get out of balance, and I find myself battling depression, or battling, I know I battled it with the last house, and now I'm seeing touches of it with this house, but it's just getting myself back to a healthy state. It's finding that balance in my life, like really making sure that I'm spending quality time with my family, doing quality things. Katie's playing basketball right now. a freshman in high school, and she just absolutely loves it and is going so hard. So helping her, support her in that aspect and with her training, and just spending more time with family, just trying to find that balance again. When I worked for 60 days straight or more, and I took Christmas morning off, and then I started feeling guilty and had to go to work at about 10 in the morning, and then came back for dinner. But I had to get this thing done, and I could see the light at the end of the tunnel, and so that was just my primary focus of just getting this thing done. And I do, like, I'm in it now, and what an enjoyable house. Like, I built my absolute dream house, 20-yard range, and I will, guys want to see some pictures of some video, it's kind of a shit show right now. You don't want to see it. My garage is a mess. It's kind of my next mission is I do have to finish out some siding outside, which I'll be working on here the next couple days to wrap that up. And then the garage, just organization, just building shelves with cubbies for bins and high storage and just places for everything, benches. And so I haven't started with the garage. It was just get this house done, get my family moved in. We're now totally out of the rental, which is amazing. We're in this place. I do have a 20-yard range I'm shooting, but it's like standing by the freezer, shooting by the treadmill, shooting by my pile of horns, into a target. It's like, it's not very pretty right now, but I am back to shooting every day. And it's going to make me a way better backcountry hunter, like having this indoor range in the wintertime and throughout the year. Like, indoor really forces me to focus on, my execution. It forces me to focus on my technique, on just all the little things, and on improving my shooting. And that shooting like a Vegas round, that paper is so truthful. Like, it just tells you how you're shooting, and then trying to adjust and just focus on the little things, like a perfect sight picture, instead of just like holding my pin up there and going, oh, it's close enough, and just kind of fighting it around where I want it. It's just like perfect sight picture right in the middle. Now execute, pull, brick, and like also being able to let down, like knowing the shot isn't right, or my shot sequence goes long, and being able to let down and start over. Because if not, it's like a 50-50 chance whether it's going to be an X or not. It might squirt out because my aiming starts to deteriorate. So, just these little things. But it's been really fun to work on that. So indoor range, beautiful, great room, able to hang up a few of my mounts in there. I'll keep working away on the decor, the decoration of the house or whatever. But just this great room, archery range, in this office right now. This is the first recording I've done in here, so got all my stuff set up in here. This will serve as my office recording room, so got a nice couch in here with a coffee table where I can sit across the table and do live interviews. It's separated from the house, so I won't, like this morning, early a.m., I'm not going to wake anybody up, can do these recordings. So got this nice space out here, bathroom out here for whoever stays, or for me when I'm doing office work. So have the range, amazing, great room, just beautiful finishes, great view where I'm staring at the mountains that I've hunted for the last 20 years. And got my family their new rooms, my girls their new rooms. They have a nice bathroom. Still waiting for shower glass doors. They should be here in a week or two, but it's an amazing space. But I do know that now it's finding that balance in my life. So been on the trails like crazy, which I just love the trail running, and also doing my weight training, keeping my strength in my upper body, and just trying to get back to this healthy mindset of balance with my family and work and my passion of bow hunting and the podcast. There's guilt too when I'm working so much on the house, about getting recordings, making sure I have a good recording every week to give you guys, and making sure I get in the right headspace when I'm talking to guys about hunting and tactics and techniques. I mean, it is absolutely the love of my life, and thank God I have it in my life. Like, I just to have this passion, this thing that I love wholeheartedly, that I'm able to work at day in, day out. It's just amazing. And so, there's times in our life where we have to work hard. There's seasons in our life, and we have to work hard to further ourselves and our family. And so I knew this year was going to be a big year. I took a lot of construction projects, a lot of homes, almost too many. And then, doing a personal house on top. And I did good hunting season at being able to enjoy my time in the woods and kind of separate myself from the stress and then go hunt and go enjoy myself. But I'd be lying if I didn't say that there wasn't some carryover stress or phone calls I had to make. And so, I'm just gonna make some changes. Like, we all need to work and make money to survive. And, for some guys, work and money is their passion, which... it's a form of it, I guess, construction is a form of passion for me. Like, I do take a lot of passion in building, creating things. I really like the work. Sometimes the client, the builder-client relationship can be tough, and I have great clients. And, a lot of the pressure is self-imposed, but they're spending more money than they've ever spent on an investment. It's the most important thing they're going to do is to build a house. So, I have to do what I say I'm going to do and come through. Like, I can't be gone from their house for a month with nothing getting done. And so I've got to keep these projects progressing. But, the manpower over here in Ennis, Montana is really difficult. Like, I had as many as 6-7 carpenters that were working for me this summer, all great guys that I really appreciate. And I just lost 2 of my good young go-getter carpenters that, have them all trained up, great guys, pay them well, get them time off for hunting season, really make sure they have an enjoyable life. But, people just are, they have to look out for themselves and their own well-being. And so they have to make a change. One of them is going to go to college for project management. The other one is moving back close to his family and girlfriend and things and going to find a job there. So, it's just people move on. But, it's tough. You take this work, and then if I don't have the manpower, it comes down to, to me getting it done. So I'm definitely making some major changes in my life. Work is some people, it's their passion, and it is a form of passion. Like, all of us want to be good at our jobs, and we want to make good money and provide a good life for our family. So jobs, like, you either do what you love to do, which isn't very many people. Like, it doesn't seem, if I was young, that's the advice I give my girls, is figure out what you really love in life or what you really like in life, and then chase that and have that be what you do. But the reality is the majority of us, we don't get to hunt for a living, which is what we truly love. Like, we have to go to work, and work can also be a means to do what you enjoy to do. Like, you can use bow hunting as your passion, and then use work as this means to be able to get more time bow hunting, to structure it so you get time to do what you enjoy to do, to make this better life for your family. And we all have to work and provide. We're all the fathers, the men in our family, and for the majority of us, that means providing this life for our family. And so, I've just worked really hard. It's 25 years of construction, and really, I've finished the jobs I've got going, finished my responsibilities and things, and I'd like to kind of pass it off and hand it off to my partner, my dad, and have him run a small crew and generate a good living from that, and just we won't have to take so much work. Like, Dad and I have been partners over the years, but we've scaled this business and grown it to a place, and with the employees, you just got to have house after house and job after job. And when you have so many things going, it just makes for a lot of stress. And so, I enjoy building, will continue to build, but I've just got to a place where I'm in this house where this transaction of money for my time isn't worth it anymore. And especially like, losing a lot of my crew, and, we're down to a small size where, gosh, I think it'd be a disservice for myself not to, like, I have this chance, I don't have much outgo, and I've structured my life to a point to where, I can really put a lot of focus in this podcast and in the hunting industry. And, it's scary. Barney Construction has been my income for so many years, but, I just know the next level for me, or to to really chase what I love to do in life, like I've just gotta do less. I've gotta cut something. I'm just taking on too much, and obviously I can't cut out my family. Don't want to cut out my hunting time, as that's what I love, and so construction's the one thing that I'm gonna start to cut out. So I do have some months left of finishing these projects I'm on. I've got to wrap up some houses, but I turned down a great project that was a dream project years ago for me, and I just it was a couple $1 million house that sits on the lake. It's this beautiful place, and I had the job and a good relationship with the owner. But as I look at the project, it's just one of these projects that I'm going to have to be so involved. It's going to challenge me to my core. I'm going to have to dive deep into it. And when I was younger, the chance to make this money is worth it. Now I'm in a place where some extra money doesn't really, we all need money to survive, and money's a good thing. And yeah, I don't have enough to retire or anything like that. But in the same breath that I know I'm going to have to give up another hunting season, or I'm going to have to give up a lot of my hunting season, I'm going to deal with a lot of stress for the next year. And after what I put myself through in this past year to get to where I'm at, the transaction just isn't worth it for me. I'd rather do small stuff or do a job here or there, or I phase myself out and leave Dad a small crew and he can make a good living. It's important to me that he survives and thrives, and Barney Construction thrives. That we worked so hard to build this reputation, and he's been with me every step along the way. So it's just important to me that it doesn't fail. So I'll do whatever I have to do, and I'll still work and chip in as I have time, or as I get to difficult items, trusses or difficult finish work, I'll jump in and give him a hand. But really taking a lot of the responsibility off my shoulders and off my plate. And I've got this opportunity. There's not many people in life that get to hunt for a living. And not that I'm gonna sit around and do nothing or just hunt, but just having a bit of a midlife crisis now, where it's I'm in my 40s, I'm in my prime, I'm in great shape. It's just really putting everything into my passion of bow hunting and what can I achieve. Really putting everything into my training to see what my body's capable of. And, we got one chance in life, and you hear that a lot. You hear, oh, you only get one chance at life, or you only get to live this life once. And it almost goes to the back of my head. It's just this saying that I just kind of hear that goes in one ear and out the other. It has this meaning. I'm sure I've thought about it before. But it's almost like this saying that doesn't have any weight to it. But when you really think about it, we are on this planet for a short amount of time. Life is really quick. And I will get into hunting stuff here. I realize I'm talking a lot about work and life here for the first half of the podcast. So I will get into my hunting stuff here as well. But, you get one chance at this life. And the majority of us, we don't have a silver spoon. We're not born with money. We have to go out and work and earn it. And, when you really think about it, that this is your one chance at life. And as I start to get older, it's not going to last forever. I'm not going to be in my prime forever. Now, I'm going to make it last for as long as I can. And for me, it's not as long as I can live. It's as long as I can be active. So I really want to take good care of myself. But part of that is lowering my stress level. What's going to get me? It's not the physical, it's the stress level. I'm going to break my brain. It's I just take on so much stress in my job, and especially, I'm just getting off one of the most stressful seasons of my life. And seasons not by hunting season, but seasons as in workload and doing this house and things. So I definitely need to cut that back. So just thinking about my life, I'm journaling, just writing down my goals, my plan. And it's scary. Anytime you're taking this big leap or this big change, Barney Construction has supported me and my family for my entire life. It's really the only way, that I know how to make money. But, I can do it a different way by taking less on my plate. I can work on my personal investments, and focus more on what I love to do. So I'm going to make the change and start structuring things a little bit different, and start transitioning over. And I just owe it to myself. I find myself, remember how I was telling you about my moose hunt, and I was talking about self-talk and how I started to say that I'm the shittiest moose hunter on the planet. And like all of a sudden, I said it as a joke around my buddies, but then all of a sudden I'm saying it on the mountain, and then I'm putting less effort in, or I'm not going as hard as I can. And I had to really change my self-talk to be positive and no, I am a good bow hunter. I will find a bull moose and I will arrow a bull moose. So it's the same thing with life, the self-talk and how you treat yourself is so important, and so when I'm doing this house, or when I'm doing anything, it's just making sure that I'm using the right self-talk. Like I started to say this thing about the house, that it's better than I deserve, which it probably is realistically. Now, that's not true. It's it's the self-talk, and I had to tell myself, no, this is not more than you deserve. This is exactly what you deserve. You've worked hard your entire life. You bought and sold these houses. You put your life savings into these things. You put thousands and thousands of man hours to make sure that you accomplish your goal and get there. No, this is exactly what you deserve. You deserve this house, and you deserve the life that you want to live. And so, life is not easy, and it's not easy for me. It's not easy for anybody out there. We all have troubles that come up, problems. Like it's just difficult to run a household, just to have a house and to be able to buy groceries and put gas in your rig, and then stack going hunting on top of that, to take a week out of the year, a couple weeks out of the year, or to do multiple hunts or out of state hunts. Like that is the fortunate, and so at times I feel like it's more than I deserve, but it's exactly what I deserve. It's what I've structured my entire life towards. And this being a better bow hunter has, it's created this discipline and this drive, and that carries over into my business life. That is, and it's been my motivation, is that I work hard because I know that I'm going to get a week of hunting bulls during September rut, or I'm going to get a week up in the high country of chasing mule deer. Like that drives me, and it doesn't come without funds or making a better life. So anyways, I'm just making some major changes in my life and just looking at things. And right now, like I feel like I'm in my prime, and I feel like I'm in great shape. And so it's really just, I have this opportunity with my financial position now where, I put in my 25 years or 20 years Barney Construction, whatever, 22, or I think we started in 2001. But before that, it was working a construction job. But I put in my 20 years for the company, and, I've worked hard, and, it's not like I've made a pile, but what I have made, I've saved and put in my accounts. And, and so, I've got this opportunity in front of me, and it'd just be a shame not to try to grab it and run with it and make the absolute most enjoyable life I can. So I'm in a great position right now. We've created this podcast and this community as well. And so, I have some income from that. So I'm going to dive in, make some changes, and absolutely go for it. So this house may have created a midlife crisis, but I think it's a good thing. Like, we have to think about our lives and the direction we want to go and what we want to achieve. And there's seasons in our life where we have to work really hard, and that can go for at our job site. I'm just not in that season right now. I'm not going to take that $2 million house and, that would put me through a huge stress load. I wouldn't have as good a hunting season. And like, how long am I going to put off living this life I want to live? How long am I going to take the next job? It's like every year it's just, I'll take this house, or I'll take these couple houses, or I just keep taking them, and I keep putting myself under this stress load, and stress carries over to these hunts. And, I've gotten really good about forgetting the stress, making sure I handle all my responsibilities. I know my family's taken care of. So when I'm in the woods, I'm in the woods, and I'm 100% present going for it. And I really try to live by that. But I'd be lying if I didn't say that some of that stress carries over to the woods. So gonna eliminate some stress and then just work really hard. And so I'm just taking good care of myself, and I'm trying to nurse my mind back to good health, and that's through my passion and what I love to do. So I have the house, shooting the bow, which has been amazing. That's the longest break I've taken from my bow since probably I did the last house, and it was only 2-3 months, but it seemed like forever. So getting back to shooting my bow, which has been amazing. Shooting indoor, really working on my form. And then, I've been on the trails. which trying to get a run every single day and doing my body weight exercises, getting back to good nutrition. And not that I didn't have good nutrition doing the house, but I slipped here and there. I was so busy and working so much, and we just ended up eating out more than we should. You know, it was just easy. I wouldn't feel like cooking or putting stuff together at the rental or when I come home. And so I ate out a lot, and with God, with inflation, it just kills you. Like, you can't even, a couple burgers for a couple people by the time you tip is about $50. You know, for my family, I had $75-$80 to get a dinner. So I definitely spent too much there, and it wasn't every night, but it was too many nights. And so just trying to get back to good nutrition as well to fuel my body. And so for me, it's real foods. You know, it's non-processed or as low processed food, just eating real fruits and veggies and meats, and just eating the real stuff, and really putting effort into my nutrition and cooking at night. So that felt good. There, just having my coffee this morning. Woke up early and got on that. Gosh, I love that Black Rifle is so good. I'm part of that subscription where they send me a bag every month, but gosh, I just love their roast. Love their instant coffee too. Well, I'm not doing a read. I just I love that company and what they stand for and their products. But so making some changes, and then you know, I only live once. So as far as hunting season, like what's gonna make a better hunting season for me? I mean, right now the big thing is time, and so I'm hoping I can wrap up these projects. Well, I'm not hoping, I will. I'm going to wrap up these projects and work hard to get these things done, but just going to spend more time doing what I love to do. So that'll be in my training, and then big hunts for this season. So starting to look at applications, and I'll be applying all over the West, but just trying to look at my hunting season and how I can be better. And so, you know, for me, trying to think about my seasons and how it went. So antelope season, I killed that nice buck. I found myself having to travel out of my home valley and out of spots that have been good for years. And, you know, I kill an antelope buck a year. You know, it's not me that's dwindling the populations, but our populations do seem lower, and there's just more guys hunting them with a bow and arrow. And so, you know, a lot of the antelope are getting chased from our public lands and refuging on private. Our numbers are down a little bit. I'm not sure if we had a bad winter a couple of years ago or something, but numbers seem down a little bit. And so I'm finding myself for antelope season, I'm going to have to travel more. I had to travel this year to kill that nice buck. And so I'm going to plan some trips. Like the season is in August when I'm really busy. Also will carry over to early September. But I'm just trying to map out a couple big trips around Montana. Like with the bow tag, you get to hunt the entire state. And there's better places to hunt antelope than where I hunt them. I've hunted those places. I've been to those places. A lot of times I'm hunting mule deer, hunting elk. And so I'm just going to really think about my antelope season. Like antelope really makes me better at my stalking. You know, you spend so much time stalking them, and they're so good at catching me that it forces me to be really good at my spot and stalk game in open country. And so that carries over and makes me better in my elk hunting and my deer hunting. So a big part of my success next season will be this antelope season, because I'll get so many encounters early before I get into a elk hunt. And so I can be efficient when I get there. But for antelope season, I want to travel a little bit more, go to some of these places, spend some long weekends or a few days really hunting them with a bow and arrow, really try to focus. You know, usually it's a 70 plus for me. You know, I'd like to bump that up where it's 75 plus, or really shoot for an 80-inch antelope. I've never killed an 80-incher. I'd love to. So putting more time and effort into that. Early season mule deer went good last season, arrowed a good early season buck. My spot, the numbers were down. It didn't hunt as good as it normally does. So I've got to venture out. I got to find some new spots to go. You had a range that I really liked a couple years ago. Might check back in with that one. And then I think I got a good chance this year to draw a Utah tag in the early season. And then I've got a chance at another September hunt that I'll apply for those. And then, of course, you know, I'll have my name in every hat across the West. It's like that is my one chance at blue collar hunting, like across the West, is applying for these tags and getting a chance. So I'd love to draw like once in, like a desert sheep or a sheep tag. Like I put in for those two. They're a long shot, but just maybe a good deer tag or a good elk tag somewhere would be amazing. But if not, I know, I think I can draw that Utah tag, so I will have an early season hunt. And then early season, I just want to be in absolute ripping shape, be able to cover country, and give it the full time it deserves. So, if I don't fill out in a 7-day hunt, it's like I'm just going to push it for more days, 8, 9, 10 days, 12 days, 15 days, whatever it takes. And I gotta look at the season, how many days I have, but I'm just trying to give myself enough time to be successful. And then, really look for a good velvet buck that gets me excited, and try to be at my best. And I also know that mule deer shots are such a high degree of difficulty, just uneven footing in extreme mountain ranges, pushing my limits. And so, going to really work on my shooting, to improve my execution, to improve my form, my muscle structure for holding, all of that stuff. And so for me to improve my shooting, like having this indoor will be huge. I can shoot these indoor Vegas rounds, and it really puts a number to my shooting. It forces me to work on my form, and so I'll be shooting indoor. Also, I think what'll help my mule deer hunting is shooting 3D courses. So I'll plan to do one of these, one of the tacks, or one of the other shoots around. Also get a ton of practice out of that Western Hunting Summit. That Lampers is really good at shooting out 3D targets and shooting around a group of guys, which puts pressure on, and then high degree of difficulty, 3D targets, uneven terrain. Like Ryan never has you standing on 2 feet. And then you got to carry your pack with weight in it and shoot with your pack on the whole time, which is an added degree of difficulty. So those Western Summits, doing those and shooting that course multiple times every trip really helps me out. So I'll be shooting those, shooting attack, and that'll help me with my 3D, help me with my aim, and then really force my visualizations of execution and try to be at my best. And I shot well last season, made a lot of good shots. I also missed a couple shots. Like it's just archery. It's very, very difficult, high degree of difficulty. So just going to work a lot with my bow and try to be the absolute best archer I can be. So I'm going to spend time doing that, and I know that'll transfer over to success in the mountains on mule deer. So got that early season mule deer, roll into elk. I know I have my Montana tag. I've kind of made this switch and this transition, there for quite a few years, or handful of years. I got hooked on hunting like breaks or badlands or big coulee canyon country. But it's more open terrain. It's spot and stalk for these elk, and there was a lot of opportunities and a lot of good bulls, but it's just kind of gone downhill over the years, and there's still good hunting there. But where my real advantage sits is in the mountains. Like being able to carry everything I need in my pack for 2-3 days, and just traversing these mountains and using my fitness and hunting these mountain bulls. And there's still great opportunity in the mountains. So it's a good mountain bull I killed last year, year before, and even when I was hunting this breaks country, like I was still hunting mountains, whether they used to allow me to hunt this special unit, and I could hunt my home unit, and I'd hunt different states as well. And so I was always hunting mountains, but just getting back to my roots and what I fell in love with, hunting elk in the mountains and backpack hunting for them. And so, just want to do more of that, really push my limits, and then I've been killing great bulls. So, the great mountain bulls that I kill are usually like the 320 to 350. I think, last year's was 322, 324. I hate to even tell scores, it's like, scores just, they're a way I can communicate with you guys where you can picture the bull that I'm talking about. It's a way of talking about a bull. And, even though I don't enter my scores in the books or anything, like I know what my bulls are. So, I know how to field judge them better. I know how to describe them. And, the problem I see is, every animal out there gets inches added to them, and not by everybody. You know, I think guys are pretty truthful, or, you know, want to state the true number, but I don't know, it just gets exaggerated. I see some of these bulls, and I swear bulls get exaggerated by 20 inches, 30 inches, 40 inches sometimes, you know, and I want to know the true score. And it's not comparison to anybody else or anything like that. I just want to know what he scores. So that one last year was low 320s. And then the one the year before made 330s. And then year before that, I killed that a big 350 bull. I also killed a 330 bull in the same year in a different state. So I really liked that 320 to 350 bull just gets me excited, you know. And so, you know, I'm not sure exactly what I'll set my sights on for next season, but, you know, even last season, I had a chance at a great big bull, a 350, 360, something around that nature. Who knows what he ends up when he's actually dead on the ground. He just had these huge main beams and tines and just a monster body on him. And I chased that bull for 3 different days, or, you know, multiple days, but 3 different days where I got into him. I was really close on him. And, you know, I didn't end up killing him or firing an arrow at him, but ended up, you know, hunting a different area or switching areas and finding that good 320 bull that made me excited and put a good arrow in him. And I'm pumped for it. It was a great hunting season, but there's a part of me that almost thinks like I should have held out and continued to hunt that big bull until I killed him. My buddies actually continued to get into him. Dan, my good buddy Dan, he hunted that same bull and was really close to him. So it's almost like if I would have just kept to my guns, I could have chased that next level bull and stretched my season a little bit. Now, I had a moose tag, and I had all kinds of things, house going and projects. I had all kinds of things going, and I'm really happy with the bull I arrowed. He's a great, you know, big 6-point that I'm pumped with. So I guess I wouldn't change anything. It's just as I think about my seasons and how I'd improve, it's almost like, gosh, if you really want to kill those 350, 360 bulls, you have to focus on them, you know, or bigger. You know, there are bigger ones out there too. Like I haven't killed them yet, but I know they're out there, and I know I've chased them. So those will be my goals for elk season, or to have a successful elk season, and then roll into late season muleys. And this is where I failed last season. I didn't, you know, like I had a great season all the way through and through. I had some awesome adventures with awesome friends. I captured some great videos. You know, I'm really pumped how it turned out. But if I could change anything, it would be my late season mule deer. Now, I had to give up the month of November to move. I had to move my entire house into this new house, into my rental, move my entire family. And then I had, you know, a bit of a family emergency with my wife, which I mentioned here. And so I pretty much gave up the month of November. Well, good luck trying to kill a rutting mule deer if you're not hunting November up north, you know, northern Montana or whatever, or up north in general, the northern states. So, you know, I did some pre-rut hunts, which pre-rut hunts are a great time to kill a buck when they're running by themselves. They're focused on their food source. And to be honest, I mean, I fired some arrows. I had 2 misses. I had one that it was just a great buck. In fact, I need to get loose the video to you guys. I've got a great video of it. I thought I nailed him. I poked out, made the stalk on this buck. It was a long stalk at last light. Got over there, saw the buck, set up my cameraman outside the bush, and I was going to get 10 more yards, or like outside. It was like a fir tree with these limbs hanging down. Buck didn't know we were there. He was feeding. He was in bow range. So I slid my cameraman out where he could see the buck and get footage of him. I said, okay, you stay right here. I'm going to sneak a little bit closer. And so I wanted to get 10 more yards, and I got about 2 yards, and that buck looked up, and he picked us off. You know, I wasn't moving or anything. It was just we were enough in the open, and there was 2 of us. I mean, I think my cameraman's 6'4" or something on this hunt, so like it's not like hiding a small silhouette, or he can hide behind me. And not that the buck saw him. I mean, could have very easily seen me as well. But anyways, he picked us out and picked us up, and I could tell holding still that this buck saw us, and he wasn't gonna relax and let us go, or let me sneak in and get that 10 yards. So it was almost a now or never. I know the buck's got me picked off. We got him in film. You know, he's in my effective range. And it was a long shot for me, but it was definitely a makeable shot. And so as slow as the hands of the clock, I was able to draw back my bow, settle my pin, put it on him, pull as that sight just kind of floated over the body where I wanted to hit, shot executed, and I saw that arrow coming in perfectly. In fact, I thought I'd nailed the buck. I thought it was a done deal. I watched it drop in right above his back and the arrow drop in, and from the footage, I know my cameraman was to the left of me, which makes the arrow appear a little bit right, but I either missed him like right in front of his chest there, or the arrow just dropped a little low. I mean, I've watched that arrow 100 times on that footage, and I watched it that night on the camera. We looked around. I never could find my arrow, but there's like this like ground fur on the bottom underneath this tree that was just so much like underbrush and things, and I think the arrow just went into that soft dirt, porpoised in there. But I looked for that arrow forever, could not find it, but I knew exactly where the buck was standing. You know, of course, just scoured it for blood, and then got on his tracks at where he exited, was able to follow him down the steep dirt, and just missed him clean. Arrow dropped a little low, or a little bit low right or something. You guys can I can watch it frame by frame, watch that arrow coming in, and yeah, it's just like I say, high degree of difficulty. It was a long shot, one I should make, but it missed, and I executed a really good shot. I mean, I remember taking the shot and pin finding him and pull. Like, I executed the best shot I could, so I'm not mad at myself, or I can't be mad at myself when I execute correctly, settle my pin. There's really nothing I did wrong other than the arrow just didn't hit its mark. So the good thing is it clean miss, which I feel way better about. Like, thank God I didn't hit him or wound him or ruin my hunt there. Then I'd really be stressing over it, or be obsessing over it would be the right word. But so I missed that buck. I had another buck that came by. Gosh, he was 45 yards. That buck was a good buck. It was the second to last day, and spotted him. He was by himself. Went and bedded in a spot. I knew where he bedded. We went to that spot. We creeped up to the edge, and it was long across that canyon to where he was bedded, but a makeable shot. And I sat there waiting for him to get up, and I sat there for a half an hour, and he's behind the tree, so I can't tell if he's still there, if he's moved off. Well, I start getting anxious, like, gosh, maybe he's not there, maybe he moved off. Let's try to sneak around him on the top side and come in from above him, and maybe I can get a shot in his bed. And I started sneaking around the top side, and I got up there, and I just didn't like the wind coming down on him. But what it did is it gave me another perspective on where he was bedded, and I could see him bedded there. And he was still there. So it's like, okay, I'm going to sneak back to the old spot where I was sitting that's in bow range, and we'll wait for him to stand and get up and come up out of there. And so circled back around, got to that spot. And as I get to that spot, he's on his feet, and he's, oh no. So, okay, I peek over, I see the buck. I poke back over out of range, tell my cameraman, okay, I can see the buck, he's there. We need to sneak back to our old position we were in. Let's just pull off our jackets. I had a puffball on, and it was getting warm where I had to strip some layers, and we had just climbed up on top. And so I pull off my jacket and things, and cameraman pulls off his, and I go, okay, I'm just going to take one last look at that buck, and we'll circle around. And as I go take one last look at the buck, he's on his feet, standing in front of the tree. I'm like, oh no. So I sneak back around, and I'm trying to sneak back around to that spot where I was, and I'm hoping that buck's going to be feeding right there, and I'll get a shot at him. And I sneak back around, and I don't see the buck. Where's he at? And then I take another step over, and he's right down below me, and he's cruising, and he's like 45 yards. So I get a range on him, and I actually draw back. He's like 45 yards, and he's just walking and won't stop, and he's going to walk out of my life into the trees again. And so just give him a grunt, and that buck stops and whips his head back around, looks at me, and I settle the pin and squeeze. And as soon as that shot breaks, that buck is jumping that noise of that string, and he actually twisted and turned and got out of the way of the arrow. Like, the arrow, I was shooting at him broadside, and the way he spun, I almost hit the opposite side of him in the butt, the way he spun around. It was crazy. And so I also have footage of that one that I can watch, but he absolutely jumped my string and got out of the way. And I can draw a dot at where the buck's vitals are, and then play it frame by frame and hold that dot right there, and my arrow hits that dot. Like, I know I made a perfect shot, and that buck got out of the way of my arrow. But that's bow hunting, and that's bow hunting mule deer. And I've heard Randy Ulmer, he thinks 3 out of 4 mule deer jump his string. You know, I think it's more like 1 out of 3 for me, or 1 out of 4 will jump my string. And it's just part of the game of bow hunting. You do everything right, and then my arrow hits the dirt harmlessly, and the buck lives another year. But great encounters, great late season, and then I just couldn't go November. I just, you know, had too many things stacking up. I did get a weekend in like around in December at some point. I got my family moved. I got my wife back. She was doing well, and I had my Hawaii buddies coming over, and so we ended up teaming up for a little hunt. But I was so stressed out trying to get the house done, and like I went down there, but I drove Friday after work, you know, I was down there Saturday, Sunday. I had a day or a couple days, and you know, really a day and a half or something. I just didn't have much. 2 days, I guess. Came home Sunday, like middle of the day. I went hard Saturday, went hard Sunday, and we backpacked in. And actually, my buddy Janus ended up arrowing a really good buck Saturday. Which was cool. We had spotted this buck, and we just got way up in this mountain range. Cold as all get out, deep snow, made a fire middle of the day. It was amazing late season hunting. It was a bit of post-rut action. The bucks were pretty beat up and worn out and weren't really chasing does much. You know, I've seen them chase harder in that December time frame, but this year it just kind of seemed like the big show was over. But my buddy Janus ended up arrowing a buck, which was really cool. It's more than I could expect, but I just felt so rushed during that hunt. Here I've got my really good friends from Hawaii out, and I just, you know, I've got a day and a half, or I've got 2 days to hunt. It's just so rushed, and just it just wasn't an enjoyable time for me. I just had too many things going on in the house, and you know, it was after that I never took a day off after that last hunt. I just pushed till the end of the house every single day beyond that. But I just I had that pressure and stress on me, and I had my good buddies out, and I wasn't able to spend the quality time I wanted with them. So that's like one of my regrets from last season. And next time I get a chance to hang out with these guys, whether it's on their hunt, whether it's on mine, whether it's a shared hunt, I'm definitely going to take the time and enjoy those guys and enjoy my friends. Like, this life is made up, you know, of you know, your family and friends and spending time with them. And it's just such a bummer to have my friends come all that way and not take the time to hang out with them. And, you know, I felt like I couldn't. I felt like that's all the time I had, and maybe it was. But I'll just make sure next time that I have, you know, more time to hunt. And life, you know, I say life is not easy. It's not easy to be happy. It's not easy to build an enjoyable life for you. It takes a lot of hard work and a lot of uncertainty and putting yourself out there. And life is, like, you can't just enjoy these big hunts either. Like, I mean, I do. This is what I live for, right? Is a big adventure hunt. But to think about it, is hunting high country mule deer is only a week or two out of the entire year. Well, the year's 52 weeks, and if I'm only enjoying myself 2 weeks out of the year, I haven't structured my life right, you know? And so I do want to look forward to these giant trips and these giant adventures. I do want to push to my limits and give it my all, and I do love it with every fiber of my being. But I have to build an enjoyable life every day. Like, I have to find joy in life every day. I have to find happiness, be engaged with my family, enjoy spending time. Like, I want to enjoy my life every day, day in, day out, not just these big trips. But, you know, part of that is structuring my life to a point where I can't. So that's where my change is at, where my hunting season's at. The late season deer I want to do better at. I actually want to take the month of November and hunt some rut states. So, you know, I've got things lined up pretty good where I know I'll have tags in my pockets and hunts to go on, and I know I'll have a full hunting season, and then just hoping I can add, you know, a good draw tag here or there. And hopefully my buddies draw some good tags so I can spend some time with them. And, yeah, I think I've got some big adventure hunts too. Like, you know, time just clicks off, and you know, I know these giant hunts for, you know, grizzly bear, Dall sheep. It's just not in the cards for me, or in my tax bracket, or not what I feel like I can responsibly spend. And furthermore, I just get more enjoyment out of the blue collar do it yourself. I love doing all my own research. I love these adventures out west. Like, the mule deer and elk is just the coolest stuff we have going. Bears, antelope, So really it's doing a lot of that, but I also want to do some big trips. So I've got those 2 really good buddies in Australia that I hunted with for a couple weeks this season during elk season, and man, just great guys. We built like this great friendship, and yeah, they've invited me to go down there and hunt in Australia, which would be amazing. They have a bunch of different deer species down there. It's something I've always wanted to experience, so just got to say yes and go. I know those guys will treat me to a good trip, and not that I'm expecting them to treat me or guide me or anything like that, but I just I just know, you know, they're such solid human beings, and like I just know, you know, they've invited me down there, and you know, just been adamant that they'll, you know, that it's a good time down there, and I'll be able to hunt different species in a different habitat. It's just a wild adventure for me going international, and I've got 2 good buddies that I can count on down there that I can hang out with, that I know, you know, will help take care of me down there, you know, as far as rigs or a place to stay, or, you know, I just I can't say no at this point, right? I just got to go on the adventure, like to have a contact down there and 2 good guys that are willing to share a hunt with me, and I just got to go for it. So I think I'll take that adventure. Like I think I'll do that in the spring, and got some other things in the works for fall, so see what I can come up with. But pretty much just have more time, less stress, and really put my all into the hunting season and see what I can achieve. I'm just not going to be in my prime forever, and I feel like I'm there now, and so I just want to put everything and see what's possible for myself. I've worked all these years to build my hunting skill sets and my research, and to, you know, build these levels of physical fitness, to build my shooting. And so I've got like such a great baseline, you know. I'm a great bow hunter, and so like I just want to work on all those facets, not rest on my laurels, and work on all those and see what my human potential, my human capabilities are. Like, see what is possible when I put everything into my passion and what I love to do. So that's the goal for the season for sure. So yeah, I just you know, I share all this stuff with you guys, and try to be completely honest with what's going on in my life and my goals and where I'm headed. And I share this because I think we can all structure our lives better. I think we can all create this enjoyable life for ourselves. You know, we just have to know where we want to get. We have to work hard at it, but there's a path for all of us. There's a lot of opportunity out there, and I tell you, the guys that work hard are rewarded. Like, hard work, I mean, you know, the day and age and the time that we're living in, you know, there's a lot of soft individuals. And so the guys that work hard, are willing to work hard, are willing to put themselves out there, can build a better life for themselves. They can build a consistently successful bow hunting, you know, which, you know, it's not all in the success or arrowing an animal. Like, sure, that helps, and that is the end goal of what I love to do, but really it's the time and adventure and putting it all out there, and some of those experiences that we have out there in nature, like that's the real gift of it. But you know, we can all build this enjoyable life for ourselves. We're all individuals. None of us come from a silver spoon, but there's opportunity out there. There's opportunity for entrepreneurship. There's opportunity for side hustles. There's opportunity to get the amount of money where you can take time and go do these hunts. And sure, like, you know, killing the Grand Slam of sheep isn't in the cards for me. It probably isn't in the cards for you. It's not in the cards for very many people. But there are people that want that Grand Slam of sheep, that use that as motivation to go to work, to make that big money, where they can go on those sheep hunts, and to each their own. Like, man, I want to hunt sheep as bad as the next guy. But for me, the path is, you know, applying for all these tags and drawing one of these tags, and then being able to go and have that experience. Because I just can't fork out 20 grand, 30 grand, 40 grand to go on each one of these hunts. And especially, like, I love bow hunting so much. So I'd be bow hunting exclusive, and there's no guarantee on any hunt that you're going to be successful. But there's no guarantee on a sheep hunt that I'm going to be successful. And so, you know, I know Remy Warren went up and hunted stone sheep. And he went Dustin Rowe up there, which is one of the best sheep guides up there. And gosh, I think they went 14, 15 days. He was with his bow. And he never killed a sheep. I don't even think he got a stock on a full curl, and those guys covered so many miles. Now, he got an awesome adventure out of it, and it wasn't, like a lose. But my point is that you can be a really great hunter and still come up short. And so to spend that much money on a hunt, come up short, and then have to do it again, I just, I find these really cool hunts, and I treat them like a once in a lifetime. Like, I have such great friends in Hawaii that have treated me out there, and I go out there once, and then I fall in love with hunting axis and hunting mouflon, and then I have to do it more. I don't know that I want to get hooked on sheep hunting, or at least my checking account doesn't, or can't at this point. Now I say can't, but who knows what the future holds? Who knows where I'll go? And like I've watched Kip Fowler do really well in his life, and finally having him on the podcast. I need to get him on again. He's such a great conversation, but I've seen him go all in on a Dall sheep hunt. I've seen him go all in on a brown bear hunt. And so, he's got a family, he's got a life, a house. He's always hunted quite a bit. But, I see him. I'm sure this is a stretch for him. I don't think he's got millions in I don't know his financial position. But, I know it's a stretch for him. But he makes it happen and goes on these super adventures and gets a lot out of them. And told me on the podcast that, if you can do it, do it. And it is in the cards for some guys. I mean, for me, that's not my end mission or end goal. I want to have my outgo as low as possible. I want to have my income be more than my outgo, and then just have more free time to enjoy what I love to do, and trail running and fishing. And, I finally got out fishing the other day. Gosh, it'd been 6 months since I'd been out fishing. It felt really good to be on the water again and chasing brown trout, and pretty fun. Just doing these things I enjoy. And I know I'm going to have to continue to work, and I'm not quitting construction altogether. I will forever be a carpenter, and I will work on my own projects. It just got to where these big projects just aren't worth it and take too much of my time. And it's it's a 12-month relationship with these clients, and there's expectations there. And, anymore, it's I'm just, I can make it a different way, and I'm going to do that, and I'm going to put my focus into what I love to do. So that's where I'm at. That's where my head's at. Man, I absolutely love bow hunting. I love the adventure of it. I love everything about it. And so I just want to go as hard as I can possibly go, especially, when I'm in these good years. And not that I won't continue to hunt or have longevity into my 50s and 60s and, who knows how long. But there are no guarantees in life. I could take this lake job, and I could work hard, and I could die a year from now and never get the chance to have this life that I dreamed of living, So I just got to go for it. I just got to go for it, make the commitment. It's scary, but I know I'll be able to provide for my family. I know I'll be able to pay my bills and keep even. I know I'll have an extreme amount of time, and it's not like I can't come back to it. It's something where I have the skill set, and I've got a great name, and Barney Construction will carry on. So, if I've got to come back to it, then I've got to come back to it. But I just think once I get the taste of that freedom, that I'll never come back. I'll be working on my own stuff and own investments, and I'll be working on the hunting industry stuff. I've got this amazing opportunity that not many guys get, where I've created an income in the hunting industry. And so, I can't take that lightly. I can't take you guys lightly, or this podcast. Gosh, here's what I've done, I do it on the side, on top of my job, and, it makes for long hours sometimes, and, got to get recordings, and, there's it's what I love to do, but it's still, I have to put in work and put in time on it. But what could I do if I could dedicate more time to it, more time to get bigger guests, more time for live recordings, more time in the production side, more time thinking and theorizing on what the best guests are, what the best information to get to you guys is, so I can be better in all facets of life, and I can be better at this podcast or at the hunting industry. So what could I do if I dedicated the majority of my time to it instead of a fraction of my time to it? So those are the questions that I ask myself, or the self-talk I have. So, I'm going to go for it. Really happy to be in this house. Thanks for all the support, guys. I will get back to social media. Gosh, there just hasn't been much time for anything else but carpentry work here. But finally in this place for the last week or so. It feels really good, and just gotta keep working away and keep structuring this life I want to live. So that's where I'm at. Thanks for listening in each and every week. I know it's been a bit since I've done a solo recording. It's tough. Like I haven't been in the best mind space for it either. It's like, gosh, you're just hustling so much, and it is. Like, really proud at what I was able to achieve on this place. I'm really proud at my effort, dedication, everything it took to get there. And it took it took all my mental strength. Like, I thought having that moose tag was tough, and all the days, 30 days I had to put in hunting that moose, and it was a difficult hunt. But having a house tag is even more pressure and stress. It's, I've got this amazing opportunity in front of me, but it takes thousands of hours of work to get there, and I just want to make good on my opportunity. So it is like I did have a house tag this year that I had to fulfill and had to do good on. So that took a lot of my time and energy, but glad to say that I'm back, and it feels so good to be hitting the trail, shooting my bow, spending time with my family, just getting that balance back in my life feels amazing. So I'm just going to continue to work on that. We'll go do this expo. I got some good recordings lined up, and rock and roll. It's life, man. We get one chance at it. Don't let that go in one ear and out the other. Like, make the best life you can for you and your family. There's opportunity out there. Just got to search it out, whether that's entrepreneurship, side hustle, whether that's working harder at your job or putting in overtime or whatever it is. Like, the opportunity is out there, and there's opportunity for Western hunting. There's tags are getting tougher and tougher to come by, but there's still opportunity to get a tag each and every year. There's opportunity to get out there and to test ourselves mentally and physically in what we love to do, to immerse ourselves in in the wildest country in the lower 48 or wildest country in the world. And we just gotta take life and go for it. Just say yes. And it's easy to say I'm too busy, or it's easy not to make the time, but it's such a fulfilling life when when you have balance, when you're able to work, create a good life, when you're able to have a good family life, good relationships, and work hard on those relationships, and then also to be able to go chase our passion in the woods and in the mountains, and really pursue what we love to do. So just trying to get back and find that balance in my life, and just encourage you guys to do the same and think about your life and how you can improve it, and think about these hunts and how you can be better next season, and try to be happy day in, day out. So all right, that's the message. I've rambled on long enough. I got to get to a meeting and get my day started here, but wanted to sit down and record a solo for you guys. So there it is. Thanks so much for the support, guys. Man, I really appreciate you and appreciate this community, and hopefully look forward to meeting up with a few of you guys at the expo, maybe at the Western Hunting Summit, which is really fun with Lampers, and then, going for it. All right, guys. I'll check in with you next week.